news tonight, and now we come in with a brief interview, but that at the end of it, we'll have something to get to know and understand as far as our education sector is concerned. As we all know, over 56,000 pupils have to repeat their P7. Those that sat 2018, they will have to resit again. Two, we want to know why that happened and why does it persistently happens almost every year that examinations are released at all levels. Then, what kind of solutions are in place or in pipeline or plan by government and all the stakeholders? And we'll also look at issues to do with curriculum and unemployment, which is a son or child of issues to do with the curriculum. Join me, welcome Dr. Kedres to the agenda, the Director Educational Standards from the Ministry of Education. Director, Doctor, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to UBC TV News tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, you're in charge of standards,
yes,
quality of the education that we consume in this country. Why do we still have people that fail, not even to be graded?
Why do we still have people that fail?
Yes. As the person in charge of standards,
yes, what
goes wrong and where?
Why do we have people that still fail? There are a number of reasons why people still fail. Quality education is based on 4 pillars. The first pillar is the pillar of leadership and management of schools. The head teacher and their management teams who oversee the school and all that goes on. I mean, that includes implementation of the curriculum, implementation of the co-curricular activities, and all other things that make a school.
Yes.
The second pillar is that of teachers. So if the teachers are there every day and they have prepared their lessons and they teach them well and they assess them so that every learner is assessed and known the level where he is and is helped to do corrections. What we used to call corrections in my days.
Yes.
Sometimes they call it remedial. And so that every learner, because the purpose of the education sector being there and for any school is to ensure that every learner who comes to this school achieves to the best of his ability. So that requires effective teaching. The third pillar is the learner himself or herself. Is this learner coming to school ready for school? Does he have the basics he needs or she needs for school? Does he have the exercise books where to write when the teacher teaches? Does he have the pens and pencils? Is this child fed or is he hungry? Is she healthy or is she sick? So all these contribute to the learner preparedness to learn and the ability to understand and then be able to now answer questions whenever they are taught. And then finally, the parents or the community is the fourth pillar in making quality education, because the things I've mentioned that the child needs, the love, the support, the encouragement, the discipline.
It all has to be at
home. It all comes from home. And right from when you are a baby, not just when you come to P1, but right from there. And then how have you been fed? Even now when you come to school, you remember last year, the Minister of Education and Sports, the First Lady, went across the country for more than a month trying to plead with parents to ensure that their children are fed. Because if children are hungry, I mean, even us grown-ups, when it comes to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and you've not eaten anything, things go wrong. So how do you expect this child to learn in the afternoon?
4 pillars?
4 pillars, yes. Now, if one of the pillars is either not functional or not there, then there is a tilt in how much the child can achieve.
Which one of the pillars do we have problems?
Almost all of them.
Really?
Actually, when more than one pillar is not functional, then the whole thing collapses.
For our case, all the 4 have issues?
Almost all of them.
So how come you people know this and you're doing nothing, I would say?
We are not doing nothing.
How come we're still having the same problem persistently?
Yes.
Every year, a good number of people drop off. They will not have results. They can't be graded. And I would say, we have you.
We have us, yes. Yes, actually the number you talked about, 56%, I mean 56,000, is about 8.5%, which is a big percentage of failure. but it has been reducing. At least that's the bit of good news, that there's something happening. That's in terms of percentage, it's slightly less than what it was 2017.
I'm already worried about what we are going to have when the senior 4 results are being released.
Well, I'm hoping that it will be better. Anyway, so what have we been doing? One, we have been working with very many stakeholders, because education, actually, every family is a stakeholder in education.
Yes.
You either have a child or a nephew or a niece or grandchild, so everybody is a stakeholder. Every family almost is a stakeholder in education. And then we have other levels of stakeholding. For example, our primary schools under our governance system are fully under the decentralized management. So each local government, and this we are talking about districts, we are talking about municipalities, have kind of total control of what happens in the primary section, pre-primary and primary section. So it's at the district that the District Service Commission recruits the teachers and the head teachers. It's at the districts that the local government inspectors are recruited, are supervised, and are facilitated to do the work. It's at the district that when the inspectors bring recommendations, they should be able to implement them and ensure that there is improvement. So we have that level of stakeholding, which is very, very critical in improving what we do.
Who supervises that level then?
That's a very interesting question. We have a proxy as Directorate of Education Standards. We have proxy supervision. We wouldn't really call it supervision, because they're really different governments. We have the central government. The Local Government Act clearly spells out that the central government should do policy. They should also monitor what the local governments are doing in as far as implementing government programs is going. So really, at our level, we do policy, we come up with strategies, but we also do the monitoring, which in a way is the accountability of what goes on there. But the actual accountability of the various stakeholders I've talked about, especially for primary school, is really under the purview of the local governments. Okay. Now, if a local government is serious, which we find in 1 or 2 or 3 around, then the system is working. And when the system is working, the head teacher, whom we call the first inspector, is doing his work or her work.
So we have the problem
yes.
at the local government levels.
Yes.
What are you going to do as the ministry, as government? Because this needs to be fixed.
True. What have we been doing, actually? One, as the central quality assurance body, the Directorate of Education Standards, we do trainings for the local government inspectors. We train them in inspection and supervision skills. We train them in report writing so that they can get evidence on every visit of inspection and use it to make recommendations, which recommendations, once implemented, should lead to improvement of quality of education. Actually, the whole purpose of inspection is to improve the quality of provision. So we do train them, but we also monitor them. And in the monitoring, we provide what we call support supervision. And because we don't directly supervise them at the directorate, we've come up with a system which we call the focal point officers. At the directorate, we have 5 offices for the sake of the rest of us who are watching. We have the headquarters in Chambogo, where I sit, but we also have 4 regional centers. So we have the northern region sitting in Gulu, we have the eastern region sitting in Mbale, we have the central region sitting in Mpigi, and then we have the western region sitting in Mbarara. So what we've done is to come up with what we call the focal point officers. From our team, we have allocated each of our members 2 districts or 3. You know, we have been producing more districts, so every time they increase, the numbers per inspector increases. Get more stretched. So now these ones keep in closer touch with those 3 or 2 districts in which they are in charge of. To monitor how services are given and to try to support them to give better services.
Thank you so much, Doctor. At that point is where I want us to end with this one.
Yes.
Do you know that those are the people that are talked about so much to be corrupt?
Which people are you talking about?
And those
Our focal point officers?
no, and those the people that go around like inspectors?
The inspectors?
Exactly, yes. Those are people that are talked so much about as corrupt people. They will come to a school, see wrong things going on, but because I may handle them well as the head teacher, they will ride their motorbikes and go back to the district, say everything is okay at Nakakoni Primary School. Do you know about that?
Yes, we know about that,
So
and
what
one
are
of the efforts,
issues that are leading to
one of the solutions that we've come up with through the assistance of the program that we've been implementing as a ministry, we got a grant from Global Partnership in Education (GPE) about 4 or 5 years ago as a sector, $100 million, and it's being supervised and managed by the World Bank. So 46 districts which were performing poorly in every way were picked and have been implementing that program. Now for us as inspectorate, we thought one of the ways of reducing on what you've talked about is to use e-systems.
You only want to reduce it, not to get rid of it?
Eventually. It's not a snap, it's a process.
Okay.
You are dealing with human beings, very intelligent, so you have to work with them until they are convinced this is what we should do. So we came up with an e-inspection system. In fact, last week we launched that system. It's called the Integrated Inspection System.
Okay, Doctor, they're giving me just a second. What do you promise Uganda as we start an academic year 2019? In just a sentence.
We are working together very closely now with the Ministry of Local Government, so that we can prevail over the local governments and ensure, one, that inspectors do their work effectively, but two, that the head teacher, who is the first inspector, the overall supervisor, does his work. And we've actually come up with tools, printed, carbonated ones. We've given them to all head teachers of public schools so that they can supervise the actual teaching in class and be able to report. And we are also actually implementing a pilot on using a biometric system in a phone. We have already developed the software of being able to monitor attendance of head teachers, teachers and learners, but also for the head teacher to use that to monitor every lesson so that there's improved time on task by the teachers. Once teachers do their work well, the children will learn, and the number of failures will reduce and finally be eliminated.
Wow. Come 2020, after the release of PLE results 2019, Doctor, I'll look for you.
You look for me. Don't look at 20, because we are looking at children from P1 to P7. So we may still
have to wait for 7 years?
No. We may still have people who are already now going to P7 who didn't get enough teaching in P5 and P6 and so on. And all these contribute towards what children do at the end of their P7.
Still next year I'll check on you.
Yes, but we would have improved.
How far you will have moved.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Turiajenda, and she's the Director, Educational Standards in the Ministry of Education. That is what we managed to share with her. At least, dear inspectors, please do your work effectively.
Thank you, viewers, and thank you, UBC, for hosting us.
You're most welcome, Doctor. Let's take a very short break. On return, we'll have business news. Please keep around.